Hello, I'm Andrew, Andy, whatever, and
You're actually going to introduce yourself as Andrew.
Might as well be mildly professional. I'm Stephen's boss.
Yeah, you are.
This could get very interesting
It
for
could.
either one of us.
And before you carry on with your, quite frankly, so professional intro, how is it that you introduced yourself when you first met me on the almost a year to the day when I first started working at our respective job?
Right, I can remember introducing myself to Josh, and I believe it went something along the lines of, "Hi, I'm Andy, I'm your boss. People know me as a professional fuck nugget.
That's the one.
You'll learn this over time." And about a week later he came up to me and went, "Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I've heard the same things." You, I honestly can't remember, what did I say to you? It would be something amusing.
You said to me, "Hi, I'm Andy. I'm basically a cunt," and people will tell you that.
That certainly sounds like
sounds like
something
something you would say.
Yeah. Is it true?
What? Yeah,
So you're calling your boss a cunt?
a little bit.
Little
I can
bit.
get away with that because
he's getting antsy now that he's not at work.
for the next week I don't have to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah, no, I'm off. That makes sense. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm hoping by then you're going to have forgotten. No, but I can have this 1 week of just like, there's no consequences, get back. Shit.
I am off at the weekend though, so I've got a while. A while till you have to see this glorious face again.
Oh no, what will we do?
Till you see this better beard again.
Alright.
Instead of that nappy rash you've got on
It's
your
annoying
face.
because I have to concede you have the better beard.
Yes. Yours is inferior.
Yes. Alright.
Yours really does look like pubes as well.
Yeah, it does.
And your moustache doesn't quite connect to the rest of your beard.
No, it doesn't. It's also lopsided.
Yeah.
I trimmed one side.
And your receding hairline's worse than mine.
It is.
Like, I'm wearing a hat to cover mine up because I'm that self-conscious, but you're just going with it.
I haven't got much of a choice. Every time I go to my hairdresser, say, "Can I just have a trim, please?" When I get it nice and long, like I could have put it in a ponytail before. I say, "Just a trim, please. Tie it at the edges because it's like spouting off," and he always cuts it this short.
And as we found out the other day, we have the same barber.
Yep, he has one style. Oh, all this misery. I haven't even done my intro. I'm Stephen Hook. This is my Angstcast podcast, and the whole purpose of this is to piss me off. But we're exchanging stories this time. It's a little bit different.
Just wait.
Oh dear.
Just wait. See, I'd like this to be titled something along the lines of, in my opinion, he's never angry. I see him at work full time. He can't really be angry at work in the customer service industry.
No.
Yet, him spouting all this bollocks and all these other podcasts that I've listened to, some of them saying he's a very angry person outside of work. I don't see that. All I see is nice, mildly polite, trying his hardest but not going very well Stephen at work.
Because that's the hardest part about customer service. You can't tell the customer that they're a sack of dicks.
Yeah, subtly you can. You can highlight to them that they've been a prick.
This is where it gets difficult because we can't actually say where we work.
Yeah, or what we do.
Yeah, but there's...
It's not porn, just to clarify.
It could be porn.
Let's just... Shh, Stephen.
There's a part of where we work that has to be maintained at a very low temperature. Did you say safe enough?
Yeah.
And...
Everyone that works with us is going to be thinking this now.
No. And obviously to make things cold you need a freezer. And the freezer to this area of where we work that needs to be kept at a cold temperature broke. Like, mega broke.
It was impressive.
Oh yeah.
I've been with it for 6 years and it hasn't... It was a monumental cock-up. It was very, very impressive.
It's like half... In like the board that it's in, half of it said 0 and the other half said -35. Which in itself is pretty great considering the thing itself is like 2 feet long.
Bit of a contrast.
Oh yeah. And so this woman came in and said, "Why is that area closed off again?" I was like, "Oh well, the freezer's broke." It's like, "I've been here 3 times now and every time you've got another excuse for me." And it took everything. 'Cause I ended up going with, the part that makes it cold is completely... It's separate from the rest of the building. There is no way you are getting that to work. And it took everything from me to say, like, are you just thick? Are you just fucking dumb? Because at the point, the freezer was still in, like, the till area. and it was just sat there, this giant freezer unit, not connected to anything. Pissing water because it's the frosting.
It really was pissing water.
And she was standing there giving me aggro. And at the end of all that, she said, "Well, I'm not blaming you." It's like, you clearly just have. You've clearly just blamed me the fact you can't get this cold food-based thing.
Yeah, it's very, very well done for not mentioning any particulars.
Any brands or anything.
So that's great, because I'll see the other side of that from Stephen being lovely and polite and go, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry about it. We're trying to fix it as soon as possible." You know, generic customer service bollocks, as we do.
Dick, basically.
But the issue is, when he goes off, he's still in a customer area. So he can't rant and rave and F and blind. Whereas me, from my position, I get to go into an office.
Yeah.
And I get to tell the other members of management how much of a fuck-up either a staff member is, not necessarily you, but sometimes you, or the customer that comes in. And the fact that we've got a swear jar in our office now, and at times I've had to put money in it before I start a rant, because it'll save me money. Right, on the process of work.
Oh, God.
Cyclops.
Oh, Christ.
Do tell.
Right, so at our mutual working area, I had the nickname Cyclops.
Or Captain Hook.
Or Captain Hook, that's based on last name. I've had that for years. I tried.
But in this instance, it was the perfect reason to call you Captain Hook. So, I got him an eye patch at work.
Yeah. So literally, it must have been like my second or third shift.
You were new.
Because we were discussing it today, I've been there a year. Exactly a year on the 29th.
Bloody Nora.
Right.
That's so depressing.
Yeah. I was only expecting...
Try 6, but Jesus, a year. Good for you.
I was only expecting to be there for about 3 months.
You haven't killed anyone.
I know. So yeah, second or third shift, I went around to do a bit of washing up. We use this washing up liquid called Crystal. It's a very highly concentrated washing up liquid we obviously use because some of the things we use need a harder chemical than basic fairy liquid.
Yes, but just to stress, it is a chemical.
Yes, it's still chemical.
It should not really be touching sensitive areas, mouth, nose, eyes, for example. Carry on, please, Stephen.
It shouldn't. And me being new, I put far too much of this chemical in the water. And I was washing up one of the pans.
Have you ever done? I know you're a student, but have you ever done washing up before?
Yes, once or twice.
Okay, cool.
And I was washing around, and some splashed in my eye. And at this point, I walked to the front. I was like, "Guys, don't do what I just did. Explain what happened." Expecting everyone to give me shit for being a new guy who's just almost blind himself. All of them kind of went quiet. Started looking at each other. I was like, "We're gonna call Andy." I was like, "We're gonna do what?"
That phrase, I love the fact that I've been told staff members come in and say, "Is Andy working today?" Generally followed by a yes. Now, this next question is my favourite ever. They'll say, "Is he in a good mood?"
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should be... I am proud of that. I am proud of the fact that my staff members have to come in and ponder if I'm in a good mood or not.
It's genuine fear. Because it's the terms like, if you're in a good mood, laugh, joke, do your jobs here and there. If in a bad room, you're cleaning toilets. All day.
Yeah, that's fun. So, I get a call saying this newbie, Stevens, ended up getting some chemicals in his eye. So, after some colourful French words, as we all know, I walk out and I go up to Stephen. Stephen, excessively saying he's fine, no need to worry. Obviously, from a company standpoint and a legal standpoint, I have to do something, because my normal turn of phrase would be walk it off. But in this incident, it wouldn't quite work. So I took him up to one of our eye wash stations. Most buildings have eye wash stations these days. And you kicked off such a fucking fuss at the fact that I was making a fuss over you. Because it was unreal.
You just told me, "Oh yeah, we're going to have to do paperwork and then we're going to wash our eyes. It's going to take like 20 minutes.
Right, first of all, I didn't start with the paperwork. I was pissed off the fact I had to do paperwork. I didn't just come out and say, "Fuck's sake, Stephen, I now have to do a fucking..."
You didn't have to, I was fine. What made it worse is everyone was saying, "Oh, you need to be careful, your eye looks really bad." My arms were going blood red because I used
He got it on his arms as well.
I was washing up, so all this chemical got on my arm. I had to get wet paper towels and wrap them around my arm to stop them burning. No one gave a shit about that.
He was such a fuck up.
Everyone just kept moaning about the fact that my eye was a little bit red.
But from a first aid standpoint, that was in funny as first aid. I had to look after my staff member. I did.
Yeah.
He cried like a little bitch when I poured it in his eyes. You did.
I did not.
You did. You were moaning.
Had my head in the sink with you standing over me, pouring saline in my eye.
Yeah.
I was bitching the fact that this was all happening on my third shift.
I was bitching at the fact I had to come and deal with some fucking newbie.
Oh, Christ. And then, after all that, and I was like, it's my eyes still fine. Arms still sting a bit, but we'll gloss over that.
You walked off that bit.
Yeah, went into the office, and you were filling in paperwork, and you said, like, cool, now just sit here for 5 minutes. Like, what? You got to sit here for a mandatory 5 minutes. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
The best thing is you didn't.
Fuck's sake! And then when I finally finished having my not so mandatory, as it turns out, sit down, like chill, going back downstairs, and he's like, oh, if it's that bad, we'll have to get you an eye patch. I was like, please don't do that. And
obviously he was saying he didn't want the embarrassment of wearing an eye patch at work. It's understood, I cleaned his eye out.
Yeah.
But what you fail to remember is I'm your boss.
Yeah.
So I come down 5 minutes later and...
But you didn't realise why having an eye patch would be so bad for me.
Because you've got dodgy eyes, haven't you?
No, my last name is Hook.
That was the Captain Hook angle. No, so I threw an eye patch at him and he went, I don't have to wear this. And I politely went, yes, you do, Stephen. And he went, I'm not going to wear this. And I went, yes, you are, Stephen. And
never actually wore it.
I know you didn't.
Because I remember the next shift I was on, you said you wanted to get wanted posters for the crystal chemical and post them around.
Yeah, put some like tea-stained paper wanted posters around the building saying wanted this chemical, and then the victim of Captain Hook underneath.
What made it worse is at the time I was saying like, please don't give me an eye patch. My last name was Hook. I can't have that being new. Blah 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 blah. The latest Peter Pan film was in the cinemas at the time.
Did you ever go to the cinema and see that?
I did not know.
No, fucking hate films.
But yeah, that was first week. Almost blinded. Almost
start as we mean to go on with, Stephen.
Fucking nightmare.
Yeah. So what do you say your catchphrase would be? Because I hear you say one thing more times than anything else at work. And you don't realise you're saying it, because obviously you're in the customer service environment. What do you think that would be?
Is this to guests or to staff?
And in general.
Oh god. I never say dude quite a lot.
It's not a dude.
Fair?
Nope.
Go on then.
You're trying to act cool now, Stephen. You're really not. Fuck's sake in your West Country accent. If I had £1 for every time you said fuck's sake, I would have a lot of pounds.
Oh shit! I'm gonna be so fucking self-conscious now. And I really want to say fuck's sake now.
You really do. I've mentioned it to other people, and it's whether it's a muttering when you're walking away after something, or something's gone wrong as it normally does on shift, or even after work or whatever, you'll just go, fuck's sake, in your West Country accent. It's hysterical, but you say it far too much.
Oh shit. I know I swear quite a bit. I've got I did radio stuff, and whenever I see my mum or my parents, I don't like swearing in front of them.
Yeah.
It takes all energy not to swear in front of them. Like, all energy. Working in retail makes it harder, because I've got to be, yes sir, you...
Yeah, that's fair enough. Go back to the parents. My mother is a very strict, angry Irish lady.
Of course, yeah.
And I have sworn in front of her before, and I'm still called her wee shite.
Oh yeah.
After being 6'2" and bigger than her since I was 11, I still get a clip round the ear every time any swear word, and she calls me her wee shite, and then I say, Mum, I'm not wee anymore, and she goes, my big fucking shite then. Clips around the ear even harder.
Outstanding. Yeah, not being able to swear at guests is really, really annoying.
It is. It's upsetting, but that's why we swear at each other.
It reminds me, there was one shift, it was around about holiday, like Easter holiday or something, and it was the first Saturday, and of course with it being Easter, all the college kids come off as well.
Yeah.
So a couple of them, I had a morning of it because I was in the open, and they were all so fucking rude. One of them, I even asked them, are you student or military? And they said, I don't know, am I? Like, come on.
It really sounds like your humour.
And I said, how old are you then? And they let me know, and I've sorted out everything else. And then you have the...
Very well said.
Yes.
Very well said.
To save myself, I thought I was getting a bit too close then. And you were on, like, just around the corner, and I grabbed you. It's like, can I please go somewhere else? It's like, why? It's like, because these people are fucking me off. And if I go on this one, less human interaction. I was like, whoa, what's they been saying? And it told you. It's like, send it to me, because I can tell them to go away. It's like, I know you can! I bloody can't!
And if I remember correctly, I think... just for the fun of it, I sent you back to deal with them and then sent them on to me afterwards.
Sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, as I stand and watch and laugh and...
Oh.
No, I love it when I get sent arseholes. It's great, you know, being the manager, everything stops at you. Can I speak to your duty manager, please? Of course you can, you're speaking to him. What? Yes,
get wrecked, bitch.
Unfortunately, madam, you're stuck with me.
Oh no, you say duty manager. I hear you've got an issue with your keys and your power now.
Oh, fuck you. How do you know this? This is bollocks. So I used to have lots and lots of keys for the building, and I'm a landlord as well, and tenancy and all sort of crap. But my boss has decided to congest all of the keys together. And now we've only got like a duty shed. And as a management team, we're laughing and we want to set up a picket line and hold signs outside and light fires in a big oil bin outside work and have a protest. Don't think it's going to get anywhere.
Might not get the results you're after.
But they're my fucking keys.
And I remember you did take for some reason you took great pride in your keys.
They were
you
fucking
had, like,
ginormous.
You did have a huge set of keys. But it was just the fact that you had so much power, like I could open anything in this building, and now you're just down to like probably less keys than I do.
Yeah, I've got for work. Outside of it, I've got 2 keys now. It's bollocks. No, it put prison wardens to shame, to be honest. It was a bit upsetting, but it's still intriguing the fact that you're doing these podcasts and you're never really angry at work.
Because I'm not allowed to be. That's why I was only expecting me to last there 3 months, because how it goes 3 months. Because when I first started, I was more than part time, not quite full time.
Yeah.
So quite a few hours, and not being able to tell someone they're a fucking idiot for that many hours in a week. Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't expected to get asked to stay. I was expecting them to say
okay. So Stephen was on a temporary contract, and it was getting to the end of it, and he was all right. He was a lot better than some, not as good as others. You know, very generic member of staff. That's fantastic. And he got to the point where it was, are we going to keep him or not? Stephen's a friend, regardless, you know, boss, employee, whatever. So I had a polite chat with him, of which I've had many polite chats with people, and I practically dragged you aside and went, sort your fucking shit out, you have a week.
Pretty much. And
I
stayed. They let me stay.
You got the job. So for that, I think you owe me tremendously, that I have not been repaid.
To be fair, I do remember saying, like, I owe you a drink for that conversation, and then every time I always got to meet you, you always end up buying drinks, including when we used to go to Square Sale.
Wow.
Segue!
What a coincidence you've moved on to that subject.
And I know for a fact there is a young lady type person who works at Square Sale. Andy, do you know this young lady type person?
No, but I have seen you drink a shot of tequila at Square Sale.
Fuck off.
Yes. No, I can remember that. Certainly, you definitely had something.
No?
It was someone's leaving do, and you had some sort of alcoholic beverage.
Well, me.
It definitely was. I can remember you drinking alcohol. I was hammered. Everyone.
Oh, yeah. Your hammer, therefore, is totally believable.
Bollocks! No, I can remember, because you were on soda or cokes all night. And I can remember you having a sip of something.
Since being at uni, I've had 3 sips of alcohol.
Why don't you drink, Stephen?
Oh, fuck
no,
off.
I'm kidding.
We've already done that. Not again. I had a sip of, like, Heineken or Carlsberg or something in Freshers. A sip of vodka and lemonade at New Year's. And a sip of, I think, Copperberg at House Party.
But you've definitely had something in Square Sale. I can remember sitting...
You sure it wasn't water and I was just like blagging you all off?
No, bollocks.
Because it must have been that.
No. We were sat upstairs on the big table where we normally go with everybody for a staff night out, and I can definitely remember you sipping and then wincing and going, shit.
I just know as soon as this is all over, you're going to say, yeah, I made all that up, so it's going to make me sound like a massive dickhead.
Bollocks, you definitely did.
Who's leaving you?
Many people leave. I honestly can't.
I was going to say,
this was a while ago as well. It was like 6 months ago.
Oh, bloody hell.
You definitely did.
We'll have to come back to that, because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, no, I can definitely remember you fucking drinking something.
I reckon you're making it up.
No.
It sounds like the sort of thing you would
Bollocks,
do.
I was on G&T's all night. I wasn't making shit up. I was wankered, but I can definitely remember you drinking something.
You're trying to deviate away from this lovely lady person. It's click to me what you're trying to do now. You asked this woman out on a date, didn't you?
I did ask a lady out on a date that may or may not work at aforementioned.
How did that end up?
Do you know what? It was a really good date.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic date. It was a brilliant date. Moving on, the weather's nice today.
But no. There's a but at the end of all this.
There is a but at the end of all this. You don't even know the full story as well.
No, I've heard clippings. This is why I'm really interested.
What clippings have you heard then before I come and put it all to shame and say it never happened?
Basically, you guys went out for a date. You went out for a few drinks.
A few drinks is an understatement.
Yeah, fine. You went for a merry tipple.
A very
merry
fucking tipple.
I think you gave her a peck on the cheek or something like that?
Nah.
No?
Nah, not my style.
No.
Gave her a hug.
Oh!
And then didn't even walk her home.
You stay classy. So, gave her a hug, didn't bother to walk home, and then you sent a text.
I sent a very risky text, yes.
Risky text would be one way to describe it, yes.
Yes, I sent a risky text to her about, are we going to go on another date or not? You know, it was pretty... I'm not going to go into the intricacies of it. It was risky, there's no two ways about it. Obviously, I'm going to blame alcohol.
Of course.
As I do with most things in my life. And I got a reply the next day. I've never seen such anger in a text before. I am seriously taking my time to word this.
Good.
Serious anger, and I now fear her from one text.
To the point where you don't like going into Square Sale.
I haven't been into Square Sale in a month and a half.
Oh, shit.
And that's my local.
I was going to say, that's where our company likes to go for after work drinks or
I've
reviews.
polished off with Reed from work a bottle and a half of gin from Square Sale before.
Oh my god.
So I haven't been into... I fear this lady. To the point where Jess from work took my phone off me to reply.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, for some unknown reason, I gave a colleague my phone to...
That's never a good idea.
I know, but it's Jess. I can't really argue with her.
Fair.
So she ends up texting something along the lines of me, obviously it's from me, apologising profusely for what had happened, saying, you know, let's move on from what she replied, because some of it was a bit iffy, shall we say.
Yeah.
And in that text, Jess had the words whack and intimate.
What?
Yeah.
Why did Jess think that was a good idea?
And she did the generic, oops, I sent it before I let you proofread it. Terribly sorry.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so it couldn't have made it worse, because it was bad.
By the sounds of it, I don't think it could have gone better.
No, it didn't help. Bottom line, it didn't help.
No.
But, yeah, so she kind of 86 there. So that's a bit buggered.
If it makes you feel better, the few times I've been in there since, I haven't seen her about.
Well, regardless, I just want her to leave and move away, and I can go back to drinking my gin in the square.
I really want one day for her to come into our work.
It's going to happen. To the point where everyone at work is aware of this story. So every time we walk past, everyone goes, oh, Andy, should we go for a drink in the square? And every time someone's gone for a drink, they go, oh, Andy, you'll never go to I saw the other night.
Wow,
it's great to know there's a real good team cohesion, team bonding at my misfortune.
Be honest, if it was anyone else, would you not join in?
Oh, 100% I'd be leading the fucking charge.
There you go.
Hell yeah. It's nice to have, you know, some shit against me for a change. But I'm just not used to it. I'm used to leading the charge and winding up people at work. Moronic people.
Yes, as you would call them before we came on, impotent.
Fucking hell.
Oh jeez, I can't even remember the proper word. Incompetent fucks. There we go. Not impotent.
Incompetent fucks.
Yes.
Not necessarily to do with work, even though obviously I'm sure everyone listening has got people they work with that are incompetent.
Yeah.
Just people you know and you see and you bump into the street. Like, I've just got a second job.
Yeah.
And with that, I have the feeling I'm going to be bumping into many incompetent fucks.
Yes.
And my issue would be, yes, Stephen supposedly says he's angry. He's a big fucking teddy bear with a tree on his arm.
Thanks.
You really are.
Oh.
But how can people deal with these without losing their shit? And I'm shocked at the fact you managed to go at work this long without losing your shit. Because I've seen you lose it outside of work-ish.
Yeah.
But in work, you're just so sweet, polite, innocent, lovely, and not an aggressive bastard.
That's funny because when we mentioned Josh a minute ago, Josh was a friend of mine from uni who I said about the job where we work. And when he first started, he said to a couple...
He was better than you.
Thank you.
Sorry, as a guest. Sorry, carry on.
When he first started, he started talking to a couple of people that I started with. And he was saying to him, I know Stephen through our course. Is he showing like his grumpy, angsty side yet? And the pair of them turned around and said, no, Stephen's always like really lovely and really happy here. That got fed through to our friend group back at uni, and that was just it then.
Did you get a load of shit for it?
I had loads of shit. Like,
you better have done.
Yeah. They were like, why are we...
Crack.
Yeah, I know. Why haven't we seen this like side of you? You're a big like lovey-dovey Stevie Poos. I was like, oh my god, please don't kill me.
Stevie Poos.
Yeah.
This is recorded now.
Yep.
You're buggered, sunshine.
Thank God for editing on Audacity.
Like, fuck, am I going to let you live that down?
Oh no. I said it to a couple of them at the last work do, and it's when the next day it's like, can you remember that really awful word? I said not never to call me. It's like, it's Stevie something. I spent like an hour trying to remember it.
Yeah. Have you heard of my nickname yet?
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
Right, go through the ones you know.
Well, most of the ones are just like, I know there's Andy Pandy.
Andy Pandy.
There was a new one. I can't remember who's that. I think it might have been someone on Costa. But yeah, usually it's just like various forms of swear words that you get called.
Yeah.
What's the one that you're thinking?
I'm not going to tell you, I'm just wondering if you knew it.
I don't know what I don't know.
That's fair enough, but I was just intrigued to know if you were...
The main one I've heard is Andy Pandy.
Andy Pandy, that's very generic.
There's one more work-related story.
After the editing, I don't know whether we're going to have any work-related stories.
That's a good point, actually.
From.
So this is either a carry-on from work-related stories or, and now a quick work-related story to go against everything we've already talked about.
So, Mr. K.
That's a good one.
Mr. K is what we're going to call this thing.
Yes.
Doesn't quite deserve to be called a human being. I'll let you lead with it, and then I'll jump in.
Right. So, Mr. K he was just a part of the batch of newbies. We get them a lot. And he wasn't as social, we'll say, as the rest of them. And he had a bit of a temper.
He was about as talkative as a plank of wood.
Yes.
Just had drowned for a month.
Yeah, pretty accurate. I heard rumours that it wasn't entirely his fault, but this is where it like kind of gets iffy. Basically, at one point, because he started with some other people, and he asked one of them out, this young lady.
Which takes a lot of confidence for
Absolutely.
some people. You know, never heard you do it before.
God knows I don't plan to anytime soon. Got the backbone of a carry bag.
Ask a lady out. Have you tried asking about it?
We're not going to talk about me and the women.
Here, Barden's single.
Such your immediate point and call, Barden. Anywho, so yeah, he asked this lady out, fair enough, and the young lady said, no, I'm gay. Bit of a Ice Cube to knackers.
It's kind of very obvious though, it's kind of, that's it.
Yeah.
She said no.
Anyone else would be like...
You're like, cool, terribly sorry.
I tried, I failed, we'll move on.
Exactly. That didn't happen.
No, Mr. K did not want to move on.
No, that's too normal. That's too generic and mainstream for Mr. K.
He said to this young lady, oh, okay then. Well, when guys try to ask you out, can I be your pretend boyfriend?
Which is where it started getting a bit worse for Mr. K.
Yeah, because that's not an okay thing to say.
No.
Or to try and be.
But the worst bit was she actually went and watched a film with him.
Really?
Oh, you don't know this?
No.
You don't know this. So they went and watched. I can't remember. They went to the cinema in wherever we are to watch a film. And they watched a film and they walked back. I actually bumped into them when I was going home from my work. And said hey, walked past, nothing else. Now this young lady's told me afterwards that apparently he walked her all the way to her door, which is about much further than where he lived. And when they got to the door, she said, "Oh well, I'll text you later. I'll see you later, whatever." And Mr. K at which point said, "Are we boyfriend and girlfriend now?"
Oh no.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Oh my god, I never knew about this.
Poor kid, as if he didn't know that.
Oh, I feel sorry for her.
I feel sorry for him-ish. No, I feel sorry for her, you're right.
Yeah, because along with that, because I can sort of understand why you would feel sorry for him, because we said that he had a bit of a temper.
Yeah.
He joined at the same time as, we'll carry on for this, Mr. M.
Yeah, Mr. M.
And
Mr. M.
Mr. M is quite good at his job.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Mr. K had, a few teething problems. Like we said, he wasn't the best when it came to actually engaging with the
people.
The guest. Or people, yeah, fair. Just the flat out people. And they were both working. And Mr. K said to Mr. M, "I would throw you under a bus for this job."
Which is not a very nice thing to say.
No.
First of all. Second of all, the chances of Mr. K getting the fucking job were slim to bugger all.
Yeah.
So the irony there is quite baffling. But Mr. M being Mr. M.
Yes, if he ever listens to this, he knows exactly who he is.
Yeah, he didn't quite back down from it, did he?
No, he did not.
He kind of got a bit... He laughed it off, but he got in their face.
Laughed it off and probably said a few remarks back.
Yeah, we don't know those remarks. I don't really want to know those remarks. I'd have to do work if I heard those remarks.
Yeah, and the story is, I've spoken to Mr. M, and he said he's adamant they're not true, but the story goes, Mr. K pinned Mr. M against the wall by the neck.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard.
To the point where, even if that's not true, people believe that of Mr. K says a lot about Mr. K.
Yeah.
He was a bit mental.
So he didn't get the job.
Yes.
Nice and simple. He was on a temporary contract in home. Fair enough. His photo that he got. Stop giggling. Just stop it.
Before you go on to this, I was there when he got told he wasn't going to get a job.
I was in the other room.
Oh, it was a fun time. I was just outside the office. He stormed out the office, slammed the door, slammed another door, slammed the door into our changing rooms, grabbed the stuff and walked home halfway through his shift.
Yeah, he wasn't, he wasn't, a happy bunny.
No, he was mildly vexed.
Yeah, check you out with the hip urban youth style.
Right, I'm down with them kids.
Them kids.
Yep, them youths.
Tick VG, very good sticker for you. So, Mr... What do we call him?
Mr. K.
Mr. K. Is it Mr. K?
Yeah.
Mr. K. Before I bugger up. His passport photo-sized ID that we needed for his staff ID. Obviously, we got that back off him in due time. The photo, well, I need to choose my words very carefully here.
Do we though? Do you really?
I think I should. Everything that I'm thinking, I'd like you to say, regardless of the fact that I'm thinking it. But everyone's had a bad photo.
Yes.
There's no arguing that. And then there's a really bad photo.
I'll be the first to admit, my student ID, because it's before I grew a beard and that sort of thing, I look like a potato.
We'll go back to beards. We've got other stuff with that.
Yeah.
I've taken bad photos. But this photo was of that level where you see it on Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, I know you are hesitant because of your place in management, so I'm going to say he looked like a heroin dealer who had just been done for, like, slaughtering a child.
I can't comment on that, but the movement I'm making with my head up and down will summarise to the listeners of this my opinion of Stephen's statement.
He's got... I don't know what happens. Everything just seems dark. He's got dark spots under his eyes. And it's just... He looks so creepy in that photo.
If you wanted to make a grown man cry on a dark street at night, you just need Mr. K to stand in the middle of it.
Yes.
Simple as. Now, with such a interesting photograph comes great power.
Oh yeah, it does.
Now, one day, the photo that we had accidentally fell on the photocopier.
Accidentally, in quotation marks.
Accidentally fell on the photocopier. Around 6 or 7 times. And then somehow these A4 blown up photos of this tiny passport of Mr. K found their way around the building, including offices and behind certain counters and in the staff room, to the point where one member of staff had come in very tired for their morning shift and found this photo on their locker. And called down and went, "Andy, what's going on?" I thought he'd left.
As soon as it's over, I need to find out what this to.
Yeah. So obviously that was an accident, it falling on the photocopier.
Of course.
Whoever did that should be severely reprimanded. But naughty them.
Oh lordy lord. That's beautiful.
Photo's still in one of the ceiling tiles at work.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Someone stuck it in one of the ceiling tiles at work.
Fantastic
What
save.
another happy accident.
What are the odds? Oh, I want to talk about work so much, but I know we'd both get in trouble. So I can see you've got one more, one or two more points of interest.
Yeah. So Beard, you were saying this the other day. So you've got pubes on your face. There's no arguing.
Yeah, I have. I've got length, but not width.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to describe it.
Whereas I've got everything, and it's got volume, and it's luscious, and it's gorgeous, and it just shines and blows in the wind. I'm sure you can agree with all of those statements.
Yes, annoyingly.
Yeah.
I
have to keep it neat now due to my job.
Yes.
But before this, the politest way to describe it was rather hobo-esque, my beard. It put homeless people to shame. Now, there's nothing wrong with homeless people, but a homeless person with a beard looks bad. A guy with a suit at work with a beard that would shit all over a homeless person looks interesting.
Yes.
And that was me for a long time. Now, I shaved one day.
Yes, you did.
And my favourite thing to do is grow ginormous, like grow it for a good 6-7 months beard, and just don't tell anyone and shave. Now, I've been in a job for 6 years now, and there are very, very few people who've seen me clean shaven. One of these people was not Captain Hook to my right.
Yeah.
Now, what happened when you walked in and I shaved?
It was a team meeting. I walked in, and you're stood next to a mutual friend of ours who also works there, and I completely do not recognise you in the slightest.
No.
If I'm going to be really mean, because you're going to spend a week off, the first thing I notice were your lips, because you have when you don't see them for ages, forever. When you first see your lips, you have really big lips.
Right.
So I walk in, and there's you, clean shaven, and like, who the fuck is that? And you give me the nod.
The nod
you give everyone.
Sounds so cool.
Yeah.
It's not.
Just the way you like greet everyone, you like, nod and say how's it going. You did that, I was like, is that fucking Andy? And I just looked at that, and I spent the entire walk up, it felt like I was walking for like 20 minutes to go from our door to like the meeting area. And I'm just sat this time, I was like, it's fucking Andy. It's fucking Andy without a beard. And then this is like, our meetings are always like really early in the morning, so it's like 8 or 9 o'clock. And it's too early to process this information. And so I'm just stood there like bewildered, like, Andy shaved his fucking beard. And then after a while, I start thinking like, this is good for me, because we've got someone on the other end of work who has a big beard. and everyone else has got like stubble. So I'm like, I've got the second longest beard in the company. This is
You
great.
were so fucking excited at that.
Oh, I am, because I get so much shit from it. Editing the Holly's pod last week, sorry. So many jives about this being a neck beard drives me insane.
I haven't even started down that alleyway yet. Alleyway, see what I did?
I like it. So for me to go from like having a shit beard to like second longest in the company, I was ecstatic. We hired another newbie who has a really nice beard.
Not as good as mine. Nah, he's on par.
He's on par. And I like dumped down again. And then the guy from the other end shaved his beard apparently he got sick in it and couldn't be bothered to wash it out.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So you've recently shaved, he's recently shaved, I'm back in the top 2 and I'm fucking ecstatic. Literally am. And then I walk into work today because I think I had a few days off and roughly the same time, well, just after you had some times off, or we just didn't have the same shift. Walk in, there you are, beard's back, and I'm like, well, shit.
After like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you enjoy your few weeks?
My 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed off at that. He's not a newbie now, but the newbie, you know what I'm talking about, who came in. If he hadn't come in, you would have been shaved, the other guy would have shaved, I would have had the beard of the company.
It's funny how much this means to you.
Because
I like my beard. Beards are great, cool.
Yeah.
People like them, people don't like them, whatever. But the fact that you were so happy to have the best, quote, beard in the building at the time.
Yeah.
You look like a giddy school child.
It's because my parents hate beards. They do not like facial hair in the slightest.
Yeah, after mine.
Yeah.
That's why I've grown a beard.
It took me 2 years because obviously your parents don't live nearby, mine do. So I'd see them quite regularly, and every time I'd see them, I would have to shave, as I'd just get like a torrent of abuse. Every time I'd go home for a birthday or for Christmas, I'd have to shave, and that's when I started to look more like a potato.
Do you have to cover up your shit tattoo every time you go home now or not?
They appreciate tattoos. I got forced to get it because I was the only one in my family who hasn't got one.
You've got a forest on your arm.
I do have a forest and a wolf who's getting hair back because I.
No, that's just the forest. Your hair hasn't quite grown back onto it yet.
Not quite yet. It's getting there. It's still kind of new.
I suppose it's upright.
But yeah,
it matches your shit beard.
Thank you. Because I'm going full hipster.
You really are.
Really are.
You really
Skinny
are.
black jeans, element hoodie, shit beard and shit tattoo.
You had hope.
Yeah, really?
Well, you did. You looked mildly generic. And now you look like a generic hipster. Fuck
Great.
hard.
And Converse as well, I forgot about them.
You're not helping yourself.
No.
You're really not helping.
But yeah, I spent 2 years fighting to have a beard. At one point, over summer, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to grow it. It's going to look shit because they always do when they first start, but I'm going to persevere. It still looks shit, but it's got to the point where occasional people say it's a beard. Like, I'll get the occasional guest in.
That's a push.
Yeah, because whenever someone comes in and they want to say, like, is there any way we can...
Give us praise.
Yeah, give us praise. We say, there's a thing online.
Yeah.
There'll be a section out there and it can literally be about anything.
Yeah.
You can say we've done a good service, or you could even say, I've got a naff beard. Anything in between,
Right.
really.
For a start, where do you get this from?
What, naff beard?
Who told you to
Oh, yeah, this was
mention
you.
beard? This was me. So don't go off on your fucking story when I told you to bloody do it.
You said you could say that.
You thief.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I basically said, because as you said, it makes them laugh, so it's more, then you're going to be more memorable.
Exactly.
So I said to him, like, you know, you could say I've got a naff beard, jobs are good and we'll get praise, helps us out a lot, everyone's having a good day. And occasionally, someone, like, they'll laugh it off and say thank you and then walk off. Occasionally, there will be someone say, that's not enough, but that's actually a really nice beard. And I love those people.
I'd pay those people.
It's because for every one of them, I get 2 people who say it's shit, voice crack again. And in fact, I was in work one day, and a little old lady just came up to me and was like, that's not a real beard. Out of the blue. I said nothing apart from good morning. I said, good morning, ma'am, how are you today? And that's not a real beard. What are you going to do with that? You just like lick it off. I'm like,
I'm glad all these people I pay to insult your beard are being successful.
And she just went off away, and I was just stood there flabbergasted, like, what just happened? A tiny little old lady just came up to me and said, "Your beard's shit," and walked off again.
You got mugged off by a biddy.
Pretty much.
That's impressive.
And I just, like I said,
I can see you're broken inside.
So whenever I get that one person who says it's a beard, it sounds to me it's a good beard, as long as it's a beard.
Stephen, you have a beard.
Yeah.
Wow, he's glowing.
I know.
If only there was video.
Gosh, it's just little victories in a world where everyone says it's shit or a neck beard.
Yeah. You've got a long while to go, a long way to go.
Yeah, I just...
When did you hit puberty? Because by the looks of that beard, it would be like 20.
I'm probably still going through it.
Your voice is cracking enough.
I know. I remember once I was serving someone, and I called someone across, and I was like, "Can I help?" I was like, "Oh." That
said, when my voice cracked, I was in secondary school in year 8. And I can remember the exact moment. It's so generic. It's so like movie. I was at the front of the class on my maths lesson.
Oh no.
My teacher was Mr. Statham. It was year 8. And I was reading off the board, and it was E equals MC squared.
Oh no.
And out of any opportunity, in front of 29 other people, and a teacher, and a TA, oh, trust me, I remember the fucking TA. I go, E equals MC squared. And that is how my voice broke. Now, pros and cons of this. Con, I was known as E equals MC squared for many, many a year. One of my nicknames. And pro, I hit puberty in year 8.
Mine was, I think it would have been year 9. And I was a goalkeeper.
You played sport?
Right.
Bullshit.
I was fat, so I got put in goal. And
I feel you.
We had a game where it was the 11, this was when I was living in Cyprus, it was the 11 football club kids versus 7 of the main camp football team.
Yeah.
And obviously, being in goal, you need to shout orders to your players. Obviously, not to level of captain, but you need to shout like, "You cover him, you go across there," blah blah blah. And I shouted.
Oh, okay. Never really heard it like that for football.
Well, you're only really meant to like command the box. Like,
this is intriguing.
Yeah, but because I was,
you don't do sport.
I was a gobby little shit, so I wanted to command everything.
Okay.
So we were defending. They tackled them. We got possession back, and I was shouting, "Push up!" And I shouted, "Push up!" in front of the
how many parents were there?
Oh,
the parents as well.
Because it was
brilliant.
Literally, everyone their head was on the pivot, like what? Looked at me. And they'll see.
Stop the game. Time out. What the fuck did you just say?
10 of my teammates, 7 of them, all obviously, let's say at least one parent for each student, or each pupil, sorry. And then a few extra because it was obviously the military lads, the ref, linesman, football club. They were all just there, turned around, like, oh, I'm going to be over here now.
Did you wet yourself?
No, wasn't that bad.
Worse.
I felt myself go bright red though.
That's mad.
It was horrible.
I think they're on par with voice cracks.
Big audience.
Yeah.
Moment of truth. And then, yeah.
We fuck it up.
Yeah. If the one preservation I have is I grew hair before my voice cracked, so I looked a lot older.
Yeah. No, I was the same with... I was that weird kid in year 8 with, like, stubble. Like, more so than the university students that would come and, like, do PE on placement. But I was the big kid that was just like, how old are you? And I was just like, oh, I'm like 12. I was like, fuck off, I'm 19 and you look older than me. That was always good.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, do you have anything else?
Not majorly, no. I haven't really made you angry, whatever I've said. It's been interesting. A lot of this, we have to mention, just a disclaimer, is going to be edited out.
Yes, or a lot of what you've heard has been altered because it got halfway through and we realised that some of these stories we can't tell in lieu of either cyberbullying or us getting a massive bollocking from where we work.
Yeah.
You so more than me because I'm a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're expendable.
Yeah, massively so. So, on that basis, you've been Andy Davies.
You've been Stephen Hook.
I've been me. Any last parting messages before we stop recording?
Have a shave.